Okay, so since today is kind of a chilled out day, I don't have to rush to get to my campsite. I'm going to talk about some of the scariest moments on the trail. So, going back, I guess maybe early on in the, so it was like it was my first week out on the trail. Now this is one of those. It's not scary. It's just it's one of those anxiety provoking things. So, I had never done a long backpacking trip like this ever, and so I really wasn't sure what all to expect. I've done research and stuff like that, but I knew there's going to be rain and storms and there's possibility of snow and all that kind of stuff. But knowing that and experiencing it are definitely two different things, as you will know. And so it was raining one day and it's turning into thunderstorms. And I was by myself. I hadn't had a hiking partner yet. And plus my feet had already started hurting me. And all this. And I had already gotten off trail once because I lost a crown on one of my teeth. So I had to get off. And luckily, my mom and dad's sweet friends, and my sweet friends as well, lived in a town that was right near me. I had planned on going to the house anyway, but they lived right near me. And they came, this was for the second time, to get me, and took me to their home and got me an appointment with a dentist, and they were having a dental convention actually that week. I think I talked about this in another video, but anyway, but there was a dentist that could see me, so I went in there. Okay, so I had called them already, so I had gotten off trail with them twice already. And then so I was on my own, and already started raining and it's thunderstorming, and I'd met these two young guys along the way, and we were playing leapfrog. Basically, I'd go ahead and they would go ahead, and the last time they went ahead and stayed ahead. But anyway, back to the thunderstorm. So it was raining, and I knew it was gonna be raining all night, and I didn't know where to go. I had no idea, like, if there was I did try this one hostel, but they said that they had a family emergency, so they were gone. I didn't know anywhere else to go, so I was scared. And luckily I met up with those same young men at one of the gaps, and I was like, hey, what are y'all doing tonight? And they said that they were going to that hostel that I had called and that had a family emergency. I said, they had a family emergency, they're closed. And they said, well, I guess they're reopened, because they had talked to the owner. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to call them. So I called them, and thank God they answered. And he said that, yeah, they were able to come back and open up. So got me a safe haven for the night. But that was a very anxiety provoking time, because I didn't know what I was going to do. So things like that, like out on the trail, I mean, they tell you that the trail provides, and I promise you the trail provides. As many times as I've worried about things like that, it's just amazing what happens, and you just find a way. And that's why I talked about, we need each other out here, because we got to find a way. So anyway, that was one time. I'm going to pause this because I got to get across this little creek here. Okay, I'm back. So other times, I guess you can imagine when you're in your tent at night, you hear all these sounds. And every time, you think, oh my God, it's a bear. but it could be a leaf or a stick, you know, falling beside your tin or hitting your tin, or things that make the biggest noise. One of the things that makes the biggest noise is these chipmunks. They are so loud and noisy and annoying. Sometimes they're cute as a button, but annoying. What they'll do is they'll go up in the trees and they'll bite off the stem of a acorn or whatever and let it drop to the ground, and then that's when they go down there later and they feast on them. But you know, they're hitting everything on the way down. Acorn, and so there's just all kind of noises out there, you know. And so when when I first got on the trail, you know, I had one eye open and one ear open all the time. And that was a little nerve-wracking, you know, because they're all different kinds of sounds. And there's owls that sound like howling wolves, and there's something out here that sounds like a pterodactyl. Not a pterodactyl, it's more like a velociraptor on Jurassic Park. Oh, I can't do it. But, and then there was this, it's called a grouse, and I didn't know. And at the time, SpongeBob and I were hiking together, and he kept saying, "Do you hear that sound?" And it's like it's knocking on drums or a big old log, you know. It's slow first, and then it starts getting faster and faster. And we kept, every time, we were like, what in the world is that? Because we can never figure it out. But it was a grouse, and that's how, I think I've talked about this before too, that they, you know, hit their wings up against a log before the males do, before they start flying or whatever. Okay, take a break. All right, sorry about that. I was climbing up and couldn't talk at the same time. Okay, I'm going down now. So, that was the grouse. So anyway, so having said all that, yeah, it's pretty anxiety provoking on the learning curve. So now, I mean, so, you know, the longer you go being out on the trail, you know, you get to knowing what's, you know, sounds like what in the middle of the night and things. And, but there was one night where there was, it was either a mouse or a chipmunk that was scratching on my tent, you know. And I mean, that wasn't a scary time or anything like that. I just knew what it was, and so I just batting it away. But you know, they'll chew holes in your tent, and so they did chew a couple, but they weren't big. I patched them up. But so anyway, so things like that aren't like scary to me. It's nerve-wracking. Okay, but things like that, you know, they're just gonna happen because, you know, it's where animals live. They're gonna be here. This is their domain, their home, you know, but they're scared of us too. Except the chipmunks, they don't care. They'll steal your stuff right in front of you and go use it to make a nest. But anyway, now as far as being like really scared, there has been a few times when I've been like really scared, and has nothing to do with animals whatsoever or people, but it has to do with the terrain. And there's been a couple of times. One was coming down Katahdin on the trail that's called the A-Ball Trail, and it's tough to come down. It's very steep, and you have to do a lot of hand over foot to get down. A lot of rock scrambling, boulder scrambling. And at the time, I had on shoes that were, you know, not great tread. And I talked about this, about my shoes and stuff in another video, and so I was climbing down and I slipped, And when I slipped, both of my legs, went, like my knees bent, and my legs were behind me, so my knees were heading for the drop off of the cliff. And but luckily there was 2 stones there that were little ledges that were sticking up. I say luckily because I didn't go over, but still both my knees hit right on them and it hurt so bad. And the fact of me seeing how close I was to going over and then pain in my knees, you know, my eyes just welled up with tears because I was scared and hurting at the same time. And, you know, just, you know, and stuff like that, of course, it's scary. That's why you have to be extremely careful. And even as careful as, you know, you are, unfortunately, there's things like that that happen. But I should have gotten new shoes prior to even attempting to go up Katahdin and down the trail. But at the time, I thought my shoes were, the tread was fine, you know, good enough to do that. But I know better now. I did get new shoes. As a matter of fact, I've had 5 pair of shoes now thus far. But anyway, that's another story. So, then another time, I was doing the 100-mile wilderness, and you know, as I've said before, this has been some of the most, well, not some, it's been the wettest season in the Northeast that they've ever had. So it rained all the time, and the rocks and boulders are constantly slick, and it's muddy. And so my first day, I think I fell 2 or 3 times my first day, and they weren't bad falls, except for one was pretty bad, and it is one that scared me too, because it was a big boulder, and I was trying to go down it because and I should have butt slid, but I didn't. I stood up and was, you know, kind of creeping down it, and of course, feet come out from under me, and I slid down on my side, and it scratched up my glasses on the way down. But other than that, besides it scaring me to death, I didn't get injured, thank God. And so there's been other times that, you know, I've had to do hand over foot, you know, and it's just scary situations, because I mean, you better make sure you got your foot planted, make sure you got a grip before you move the foot, make sure you got a good stance with your foot before you move your grip, you know. And I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything, that's just the truth, you know. And it's just, it can be very scary. So those are really the only times that I've gotten really scared. I mean, there's been other times that I've tripped on rocks coming down, and luckily that you know, I can kind of skip over some of the rocks and, you know, foot plant somewhere safe. And you know, those are scary times too, but just do the best you can. That doesn't just happen to me, like that happens to everybody. I mean, you get in situations that are, I mean, if this was easy, you know, people wouldn't be talking about it so much, but it's tough, you know. There are sometimes a lot of places that are just nice, and you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But sometimes you're just gonna be, you're climbing mountains, you know, and the mountains aren't gonna give for you, so you have to, you know, watch yourself and watch your step. Anyway, so I guess that's really Well, there's to it. I mean, thus far, if there's anything else that comes up, I'll tell you about now. About the bear that I met, that we looked at each other. That was kind of nerve-wracking. But when I felt and saw that the bear wasn't aggressive, you know, I felt better. Now, if it would have been, you know, a very aggressive bear, then I would have been scared to death. But and the other day, I think I said on the video too that I saw a baby bear come down a tree real quick and run. It was cute as can be, but I knew mama bear had to be close, so I watched out for that. And I never saw her, thank goodness. But yeah, so, and I'm heading to New Jersey where they have the most bear sightings there. So I might see another one. And in New York too. I'm right here in New York now, so could definitely, there's a possibility of seeing another one. So that's it. No biggies. Next time I think I'll talk to you about maybe the strain on the body and mind doing this, because you get to see, you know, all the beautiful stuff that I see, and you know, you get to see the times when I'm joking and laughing, which I know hadn't been for a minute. It's hard to joke and laugh with myself. I do laugh at myself all the time, but you know, when I have people around, we cut up. But usually, you know, other hikers that, you know, I only see for a little bit and we cut up and joke around. Typically I don't video them because, you know, I don't know them that well. But we still have fun. So, anyway, that's it for right now. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry if it was boring and not exciting. So, another thing that scares me, or has scared me, is like, you know, because of the rain and everything, the rivers just were so high, and they were knocking down bridges and pushing up roads, cement roads, or whatever roads are made of, tar roads. I mean, it was bad, really bad. And a lot of Vermont places are still closed. There's some places in Bear Mountain that are closed still. Some places in Maine that are closed. You know, just everywhere. And it's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And so anyway, you know, we lost a hiker named Steady Eddie. I talked about that in one of my other videos, but you know, he drowned, and I don't know if he hit his head or what happened, but great. Sorry, I was reading the sign, but so, you know, when I go over, you know, or have to go through some river crossings, I do get really nervous about that. But if I know they're impassable, then I won't even try. I just go around them, and that's what's so bad too, is because usually it's miles to go around them. But I'd rather do miles around them than, you know, slip. So, or get, you know, carried away with the current and stuff. But so I do get really nervous about things like that. But again, I do the best I can to, you know, be mindful of, you know, my steps, and be mindful if it is impassable, and do something different and not take that chance. So hopefully I'll continue to do that. And hopefully the rivers will be better. There was a couple of river crossings actually the past few days where I had to go around. And there was a bridge out, and so it can be frustrating, but nothing you can do about it. So, but it's a pretty day today. It's a beautiful morning. Yeah. Talk to you guys later. Bye.